Steph Curry's basketball legacy is forever cemented as one of the best to ever step on the court. As a 9-time All-Star, 4-time NBA champion, 2-time NBA MVP, 2-time scoring leader, all-time three-point leader, and 1-time NBA Finals MVP, there's no questioning Steph's greatness. But long before his unprecedented fame and achievements, Curry was a small kid who got snubbed by major college basketball teams. So how exactly did he turn the corner to become one of the game's greatest players? This is the story of how a 3-star recruit became an NBA superstar. Steph Curry is a basketball player like no other, a genius on the court and one of the few players to have revolutionized the game in recent times. Born on March 14, 1988 in Akron, Ohio, Curry's journey began in the same hospital where another basketball legend, LeBron James, took his first breaths. His dad, Del Curry, was an NBA player and one of the sharpshooters of the 1990s. Meanwhile, his mom, Sonia Curry, held her ground as a Division I volleyball star and the family's disciplinarian. So while Curry Sr. was out there scoring from beyond the three-point line, Sonia was back home, ensuring that Steph and his siblings were good kids. Despite his undeniable talents and rich basketball heritage, Steph Curry faced some hurdles in his early basketball career, and this had nothing to do with his talent. I mean, Curry has always been a talented kid with great ball handling and shooting skills. But his light body frame was always a source of concern for coaches and potential recruiters. Towards the end of his career, Del joined the Raptors, meaning the Curry family had to relocate to Toronto. Upon the family's arrival in Toronto, Del wasted no time in ensuring that Curry and his younger brother Seth were plugged into the basketball scene. He registered them at a private K-12 school and had a brief discussion with Coach James Lackey about their basketball ambitions. Like most trainers who had previously worked with Curry, Lackey wasn't too impressed after his first meeting with the then youngster. He was expecting to see a giant prodigy with a strong physical presence, but Curry was the exact opposite. At just over 5 feet tall, Curry's physical presence was far from imposing. He looked more like a nerd than a potential NBA star. However, there was a strong aura of magic and determination that lingered around him. Reserved and soft-spoken, Curry opted to let his game do the talking. He averaged a jaw-dropping 50 points per game in his 8th grade year. But since the school board wouldn't allow him to play for the high school team, he continued to dominate the middle school scene. His breakthrough eventually came in an exhibition game against a team of 12th graders. As an 8th grader, Curry wasn't supposed to feature in the game, but Coach Lackey took a gamble, introducing him off the bench. The gamble paid off as Curry produced a spectacular performance, scoring 20-plus points. This was just a glimpse of what was to come. Curry featured for Queensway Christian College boys, contributing significantly to their unbeaten campaign in the 2011-12 season. He also featured for the Toronto 5-0 team that won the provincial championship with a stellar 33-4 record. As the final buzzer sounded on Del's playing career, a new chapter began for the Curry family. They relocated to Charlotte in North Carolina, where Curry once again showed that he's a basketball genius. He led the Charlotte Christian School to 3 conference titles and 3 state playoff appearances, an achievement that earned him all-conference and all-state nominations. Curry'd become a rising star, but his scrawny stature stigma would not stop haunting him. Despite his impressive display for the Charlotte Christian School, he was snubbed by most elite Division I schools in his state. Curry's preference at the time was to play for Virginia Tech, an institution his father played for during his college days. But they wouldn't offer him a scholarship, so he joined Davidson College instead. By the end of his freshman year, Steph Curry had already etched his name among the elites, ranking as the second highest scoring freshman, just behind Kevin Durant. Accolades poured in like a rainstorm. Conference Freshman of the Year, Southern Conference Tournament MVP, and a spot on prestigious teams like the All-Tournament, All-Freshman, and All-Southern Conference First Team. Topping the scoring chart in the Southern Conference, he propelled the Wildcats to an electrifying Elite 8 finish in the NCAA tournament. Curry wasn't just a performer, he was a high-usage player, appearing in nearly every game of his college career, except for the game against the Citadel Bulldogs, which he missed due to an ankle injury. In his final season with the team, Steph Curry dethroned John Gurdy as the all-time top scorer for Davidson College and was named a consensus first-team All-American. By then, Curry's height had stretched to 6 feet 2, and his talent was obvious enough for everyone to see. But not everyone was convinced that this skinny sharpshooter was good enough to play in the NBA. One scouting report said Curry was far below the NBA standard in terms of explosiveness and athleticism. He wasn't too bothered about these negative opinions, though. Similar things had been said about him in high school and college, and it didn't stop him from going on to do great things. On June 25, 2009, the Golden State Warriors drafted Steph Curry in what would be one of the most memorable draft nights in the history of the franchise.
Draft. The Golden State Warriors select Stephen Curry from Davidson College.
Ironically, Monte Ellis, another small guard, was already on the team. But as a fan of small ball, Coach Don Nelson didn't mind having another lean guard on the roster. Nelson was a big fan of Curry's skill set and pushed hard for him to be drafted. "I was marveling at his skill from shooting and passing and ball handling," Coach Nelson said. "I just thought he was a star. I never dreamed we were going to be able to get him." Once Curry joined the team, he repaid Nelson's trust in him with a stellar rookie season where he averaged 17.5 points across 80 games. This includes a triple-double game against the Los Angeles Clippers, which made him the 6th rookie in NBA history to post a 35-point, 10-assist, 10-rebound game. As if that wasn't enough, he notched a career-high 42 points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists against the Portland Trail Blazers. Curry's shot accuracy beyond the arc was particularly impressive. He finished the season with 166 three-pointers, the most by a rookie in NBA history. It was a dream start for the boy from Ohio, who was deemed too weak and too small to play in the NBA. Not only was he playing well, but he was also smashing records left, right, and center, including some that were created before he was born. He won the Western Conference Rookie of the Month 3 times and finished as the second-best rookie in the league that season behind Tyreek Evans. Having settled into the team in his rookie season, Curry exploded in his next campaign. He scored 20-plus points in 35 games and averaged 18.6 points across 74 games. He had successfully silenced his doubters, and it seemed like he could do no wrong at this point. But after missing 40 games in the 2011-12 season due to a series of foot and ankle injuries, his critics found their voice again. Things got so bad, the Golden State Warriors actually tried to trade Curry to the Milwaukee Bucks in exchange for Andrew Bogut. But the Bucks pulled out after learning about his worrying injury record. Going into the 2012-13 season, the Golden State Warriors began to lay the foundation for their dominance. First, they drafted Draymond Green as the 35th pick in the 2012 NBA Draft. Then they offered Steph Curry a 4-year contract extension worth $44 million. While this looks like an absolute steal right now, some analysts called it a risky deal at the time. Curry was keen to prove them wrong, and the appointment of Steve Kerr in 2014 would help him to do just that. Thanks to the new tactics adopted by Kerr, Curry evolved to become one of the best shooters in NBA history. His season average went up to 24.5 points, which was a massive jump compared to the 17.5 points he averaged in his rookie season. He was named the NBA's most valuable player as the Warriors won a remarkable 67 games in the regular season on their way to clinching their first NBA title in 40 years. Steph Curry was undoubtedly the poster boy, but the team wouldn't have won that title without the inspiring performance by Andre Iguodala in the finals and the contribution of guys like Klay Thompson and Draymond Green. In the 2015-16 season, Curry unlocked a new level in basketball that most players can only dream of. He scored 118 points in his first 3 games, becoming the first player to achieve that feat since Michael Jordan did it in the 1989-90 season. He scored 402 three-pointers, smashing his previous record of 286 three-pointers in a single season. He also joined an exclusive club of players in NBA history to average over 50% shooting from the field, 40% from threes, and 90% from the free throw line. With Curry in this type of form, the Golden State Warriors were unstoppable. They finished the regular season with a record-breaking 73 wins, and Curry became the first ever unanimous MVP in the league's history. But despite this phenomenal achievement, the Warriors failed to win the NBA championship. It wasn't so much about the loss. Instead, it was more about how they lost. The San Francisco-based side had raced to a 3-1 lead, but a historic performance from LeBron and Kyrie Irving helped overturn this deficit. The Warriors became the joke of the league. Analysts and rival fans ensured that the team wouldn't forget this infamous choke job soon. Despite playing with a knee injury, Curry averaged 22.6 points in the finals, but he also got a fair share of the criticism. The Golden State Warriors were already great with Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and Klay Thompson on the team. However, in July 2016, the Warriors sent shockwaves throughout the entire league as they signed Kevin Durant to a 2-year deal. KD hit the ground running, winning consecutive NBA Finals MVPs, as the Golden State Warriors won the championship in 2017 and 2018. Steph Curry scored crucial points, as usual, but critics still tried to undermine his greatness because he doesn't show up in the finals. These criticisms were amplified when the Golden State Warriors lost the 2019 NBA Finals to the Raptors. Injuries to KD in Game 5 and Klay Thompson in the third quarter of Game 6 put the Warriors at a disadvantage. And even though Curry did his best to carry the team, averaging 30.5 points per game, it wasn't enough. To make things worse, he missed a clutch shot that would have taken the series to Game 7, and the internet trolls were out in full force. Following the loss against the Raptors, the Golden State Warriors plunged into decline. From being one of the most dominant teams in NBA history, they became the worst team in the league, and their superstar Steph Curry could do nothing about it. Like some other key members of the team, he was battling with injuries. This turned out to be a blessing in disguise, though. Curry returned from his injury layoff as a new man. He bulked up and improved his defense while maintaining his lethal shooting ability. In December 2021, he officially became the greatest shooter in NBA history after draining 2 3-pointers in the first quarter against the New York Knicks. By the end of the game, Curry had scored 6 3-pointers. This took his overall tally to 2,977 3-pointers in 789 games at the time. For context, the previous record holder, Ray Allen, scored 2,973 3-point shots in 1,300 games. In the post-game interview, Curry said, "The bar that was set by Ray and the fact that I could get there in the amount of games that I did and shoot the percentage that I did, that's something I'm really proud of. I never wanted to call myself the greatest shooter until I got this record, so I'm comfortable saying that now." Curry also went on to secure the second scoring title of his career, averaging 32 points per game. Unfortunately, the Golden State Warriors missed out on the playoffs, and the backlash was epic.
Sadly to say, I don't see Steph Curry and the Warriors winning another championship.
It's over for them now. We will never see Steph in another NBA Finals, ever. They have no path forward.
With critics waiting to see how they'll respond, Curry and his teammates entered the 2022 season looking to prove a point. They qualified for the playoffs as the third seed in the Western Conference, setting the stage for what would be an emotional NBA championship win. Curry averaged 28 points across 5 games as the Warriors blew away the Nuggets in the first round. He carried on this form and was at the center of everything good for the Warriors as they beat the Memphis Grizzlies and Dallas Mavericks to set up a showdown with the Boston Celtics in the finals. The Celtics had the best defensive rating in the league during the regular season, and having knocked out the Bucks and Miami Heat in the playoffs, they felt like they had a decent chance of winning the title. But the Golden State Warriors were a team on a mission, and so was Steph Curry. After all the talks of him not showing up in the finals, he knew he needed to take this game personally, and that's exactly what he did. Curry averaged 31.2 points across 6 games to win his 4th NBA championship and the first Finals MVP award. It was the perfect response to all the unfair criticisms that he's received throughout his career.
I remember some experts and talking heads putting up the big zero of how many championships we would have going forward because of.
More significantly, it was an iconic moment that outlined his greatness and solidified his legacy as a future Hall of Famer and, indeed, as one of the greatest players in NBA history. Like Curry, there's another player who started his NBA career as an underdog, but after just 6 seasons, he's become one of the best players in the league. And if he continues on this path, he could well go on to become one of the greatest players in basketball history. So, who exactly is this superstar, and just how good is he? Click this video right here to find out.